So much love and appreciation to those of you who have been with me for the 2 year period plus that I've been doing this. Thank you for showing your love and support to the channel. And to anybody else who is brand new to the platform and you would like to support the channel, also, you can do it by way of Patreon, Anchor, the clothing store, and also the shoe shop that is listed in the comment description below. And again, thank you to any and all of you guys who have been here to support this channel during the 2+ year period. I wouldn't be able to do what I do every single day without you. Parents Clarissa Nash and her husband D Nash state that they posted the video to highlight how local law enforcement told them that the boy is too young to face criminal penalties. But the boy's father, Brian Thomas Brunson, is not, and he later will be arrested for his actions in the aftermath of the incident. Quote, "The kid came to my door with a whip looking for my 9-year-old daughter. Then he puts a big scratch mark on our car. The police came out to tell us, quote, it'll work itself out since he's moving soon." She also communicated what happened when they went to the child's home, stating that when her husband returned home, the two of them went to talk to the child and his family about the damages done to their vehicle. First, the mom states that she could hear the boy's father tell him to lie and say that he is not home. But minutes later, the man emerges and comes to the door with a weapon. Quote, "He almost injured himself and his daughter standing behind him." The couple posted a video of the visit to the 9-year-old's home on YouTube. In the footage, D is seen talking to the father, who says that the reason why he has his weapon directly on him is because they have had beef before. D then attempts to show the man the ring video of what transpired at their home, but the father tells them to leave the property. An argument ensues between the two men in Bronson's driveway, and the boy's father places his weapon on the ground. When he picks it up, he accidentally, remember, air quotation guys, accidentally in true American fashion, mistakenly pulls the trigger, and the camera records the sound of a shot. The Nashes called the police and were told no charges could be filed on the boy because he is 9 years old, too young to face criminal mischief charges. However, Kaufman County Constable Precinct 2 Chief Administrator Jason Johnson confirms that the bullet almost struck Bronson's own daughter, who was standing behind him. The father reportedly was hit with a felony charge of deadly conduct. The Nashes, who have made multiple somewhat inconsistent social media posts about why the boy was at the door, says it all started because the upset boy claims he got into a fight with the couple's 13-year-old son, although another narrative states that it was his 9-year-old daughter while he was coming home from school. The couple contends it would have been impossible for the son to be involved because the two minors attend separate schools. Quote, "The kid claims as he was walking home and was jumped by our son. Our son is 13 years old. He gets out of school 2 hours after the 9-year-old gets out of school. So there's no way our son could have touched or even seen the 9-year-old kid." The Nashes also state that this is not the first incident that they've encountered with the same boy, stating that the boy has claimed that their son assaulted him before. The father states that he has social media postings dating back to 2019 regarding the blonde child. And Carissa Nash both took to Instagram with videos offering an account of what precipitated Thursday's event, stating that the white boy and the 9-year-old daughter, Jordan, had a tussle earlier that day. Quote, "We spoke with a group of kids that walk home with a 9-year-old, as well as my daughter and the entire group. The 9-year-old kid was saying rude things to the group of kids." Carissa Nash stated that the boy shouted out racial slurs to the other kids. Other black children allegedly got into an altercation with the child, and he took his skateboard and started hitting the others around him. He struck one girl and her brother beat him up. Carissa also stated that, quote, "There was a brother and he got in there and said I had to defend my sister. He was hitting my sister." The couple claimed that what happened next was that the 9-year-old hit the Nash's daughter, Jordan Nash, and she defended herself. The child was furious that the girl was fighting back. To make matters worse, While she was fighting the child, another boy pushed him from the back into some water. When he got up, the first person he saw was Jordan, and he viciously attacked her. Jordan came home and told Carissa that the entire ordeal was. And while the parents were talking, the boy came to the door. A Ring camera located on the Nash's family door captured the boy approaching the porch and banging on the door. In his hands, he had a whip, and he snapped it a couple of times at the door. He waited for someone to answer his frantic address. When Carissa opened the door, she chastised him for causing such a ruckus and disrespecting her home. She is heard on the clip saying, "Little boy, you better get yourself up and off my porch before I call the police. Beating on my door like this. I will call the police. You need to leave. Don't you ever beat on my door like that. Go." I just want to first start off by saying shout out to the black father that is obviously present and in his children's lives, right? You saw clearly how he went over there to protect his family, how he went over there to, try to sort out the situation and get things done. And you saw what happens when you have the presence of a black man there. You have the individual, the alabaster individual, deciding that, I'm going to just tell my son to lie, right? That didn't work out. So then he decided, to say, stop banging on my door. He wanted to act like he was getting irate, like, the father was, the black father was the problem. Realistically, he wasn't. He was coming out there to sort out a situation of which his child caused, right? So then when the father was like, "Yo, I got proof right here. If you just come out here and talk to me like a man, we can sit up to handle this." So then that's when you see the father in the video kind of like back up, be like, "Yo, what you doing? You sitting up here, you coming out here with someone on your hip for like what reason?" It's like, "I'm coming out here to talk to you about what your son did and how he came over to my home banging on the door as if he owns the joint," right? Father didn't want to sit up there and listen to it. Told the black father to get off the property and and all these other types of things. Like I said before, this is what happens. This is the clear cut show you, right? Just the presence of a black man. This is what what this does, right? The father was like, "Oh, I don't have any hands. I'm not going to be able to take this dude is right." So he went to, right, his cure all, right? He went to his weapon, the only thing that he has and the only thing that he knows how to use, because he can't use any type of hands if it came directly down to it, right? And then on top of that, he pretty much more than likely can't even properly use the weapon that he has. He put it on the floor and then ended up picking up the weapon, touching the trigger somehow in Alec Baldwin fashion, letting the bullet off, and it almost took the life of his daughter. What are we doing out here? We're obviously like, this dude is cut from the same cloth as Alec the Bow Bow Baldwin, right? I didn't do it. The weapon did it itself. It triggered itself. It went off by itself. That was the defense that he was going to try to use. Obviously, because he don't have that celebrity. He don't got that type of money. He can't use that defense here. So that's why he got charged. But the more pressing thing is that a lot of people are going to be so naive and so stupid to say that this had nothing to do with race when obviously it did. His son decided to come across the street with the whip, whipping on the door and banging on the door as if he was going to bring slavery back. That's exactly what he was doing. And he was sitting there acting all dominant with his false type of sense of manhood from his father, because they're both cut from the same cloth. They're both weak. They're both lying types of individuals that lie to themselves in order to believe this type of narrative that they are superior and this and that and all this other type of stuff, right? This is why his son, right, quote by stated from the other kids that were there, was yelling racial slurs. Who do you think that he got that from? Oh, that's right, it starts at home. Look at that. Look at that. And I just wonder, with a father like that, how was he able to afford that home? Is there any type of Section 8 involved? Is there any type of government assistance? Did you lie on some type of forms? Because it seems like very potentially with the type of mentality, ideology, and a mouth that father has, it seems like somebody just caught a quick come up. Somebody caught a quick lick real quick. Originally it might have been in a trailer park somewhere, or out in living in the tents, out there in the woods, and somebody told them how to up their game on lying on some forms. like I said, their finances need to be highly looked at, because I don't think that they can actually afford that neighborhood. Somebody might want to look in the basement to see if he might be trying to pull a Breaking Bad, right? Or he might be a mule going back and forth to Mexico. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. But like I said, a lot of people are going to try to make it seem as though this had nothing to do with race, where you can clear cut see that this had everything to do with race. It did. It is what it is. Like I said, you can be naive to the fact. You can believe that we're past racism, past bigotry, past discrimination. You can believe that the country is oh so better, when realistically it's not. It's just that people want to tell this lie so openly and so loudly that they feel that if they shout it loud enough, if they believe it enough, if they say it during the daylight, then it's going to make it true. Just because it's nighttime and you say it's daytime doesn't mean it's true. Like I said before, only stupid people believe that. But it is what it is at the end of the day. Long story short, black people, take this as an example as to why it is that you need to teach your kids history, the real history of America, the real truth of America, the real world view, and how it is that they will be depicted and viewed as young black men and young black women. And make sure as a family that you guys are legally able to carry, that you guys know your rights and the laws within that city, town, or state, wherever you stay, so that you can properly defend yourself if anything basically transpires or happens.